Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to give you a big garden update. So if you saw our garden renovation last year, you'll know this is how it started, and even I can't believe it looked like this looking back. I was really shocked because we've just had it so different for a year now. Yeah, it really wasn't in a good state. So we have a whole garden renovation, which I will leave a link to in the description box below. And by the end of that video, the garden was looking like this, which was a huge improvement. There was so much that we did in that video, so I'd love you to go and watch it and find out all of the things that we did to get it to this point. But over the last probably 6 months to a year, especially as it started to warm up in the last couple of months, we have done even more to the garden, so I wanted to share it with you in today's video. So at the start of us doing this whole long weekend makeover that we did, our garden was looking like this. So we have painted the fences, we have planted some plants. This has all been done towards the end of last year when we did the garden, and as I said, the start of this year as well. And we've also tested out some paint colours on the playhouse, and just basically getting ready and waiting until we had a good run of weather to get loads of painting and after winter cleaning done. So as you can imagine, after winter the garden wasn't looking its best. We have been cleaning it up throughout spring and picking up the leaves multiple times. This isn't just how he came out and it was looking after winter, but we haven't done a full deep clean of the garden to get it ready for painting and stuff like that. So the boys have been loving it. They've been out in their paddling pool in the nice weather, and hopefully we've got another week of nice weather to come now so we can get out there and really enjoy what we've done. But yeah, this is what it was looking like before we started. The sandpit was everywhere. Everything throughout the winter, like the barbecue, was covered up. The decking was in a pretty bad state because, again, as I said, it had been left all winter long. And we also have this table and chairs which really needed some TLC. We were thinking about getting rid of them, but in the end I thought I would give them a coat of paint and see if I could bring them back to life. So this is where we started. The first big job was for Rick to get his leaf blower out and get rid of all the leaves that have been covering the garden. We do get a lot of leaves in our garden, I can't lie, because we have two big trees in our garden. One is an absolutely beautiful magnolia tree, so I can't complain about that, but we are constantly forever having to pick the leaves up, which is annoying, but obviously it's a garden, so you know, it's to be expected if you have large trees in it. So yeah, I say we, this is always Ricky's job. So he got on with picking up all of the leaves and any twigs or sticks that had landed in the garden. And also on the first day of doing this, we just took all of the furniture off the top decking, just because, again, there were a lot of leaves that had got onto it, so Ricky wanted to get rid of all of these. We didn't do too much more up here on this day. We do as the video goes on, you'll see. But yeah, we just wanted to basically give it a good clean up to start with. We also uncovered all of our garden furniture. This hasn't been covered since winter. We have had it out a few times because over the course of lockdown we've actually had a few nice weekends here in the UK. So we have actually had everything out. We've jet washed the table, we've cleaned all the covers, but water and dirt still manages to get in there somehow. So I'm just going over it here with some method cleaner, just cleaning the seats. They're waterproof, which is great, but somehow there's always a bit of bird poo or something that's got on the seats. So we just sorted that out, and then we had this huge mint bush growing in our border, so we took that out and I cut it back and put it in a pot. So then after that, Ricky got to work on the bottom decking. I don't really know what to call them, I just call them like the top decking and the bottom decking. This was in quite a bad state as we hadn't really been using this area at all, so it had just been left for a really long time. So again, Ricky removed all of the furniture, everything off it. He picked up all of the leaves, and then this was in preparation to jet wash the entire decking and also paint it. So it was a really big job that we were starting, but very, very satisfying once it was done. being the leaf blower, Ricky is also the jet washer in this house, so he got to work on that. Yeah, he is very good at doing stuff like that, so I kind of just leave him to it. It took ages, and it was really, like I said, satisfying to see all of the horrible like grease and grime and mould and stuff coming off of it, and it looked great afterwards. Whilst he was doing that though, I was getting on with painting, so I'm going to tell you all of the paint colours and everything we used at the end of the video, because I'm going to give you a tour. But the painting in this garden, we didn't really realise how much we needed to paint. So I started with the children's playhouse. Our plan all along was to paint this, but we didn't get around to it last year, so we started painting it a couple of weekends ago when the weather was nice, and I finished it off. It does need a second coat, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I've just got to do the inside as well, but yeah, it's looking so much nicer. Also my job to paint the table and chair set. So we have this large table and 6 chairs, and they needed 2 coats, so it was a really big job. This took me probably in total like 2 days, maybe a day and a half to do. But it was really relaxing actually. It was nice to just have the kids running around in the garden, going from being indoors to outdoors and having all the doors open and just painting. It was really quite therapeutic. It did get boring towards the end, I'm not going to lie, when we had been painting for days and days, but it was actually really enjoyable. And then this is Ricky just testing out the decking colour. And then more painting. He got on to painting the shed, which we decided to do the same colour as the kids' playhouse. And again, it needs another coat, but it looked really nice. Then this is the second day. I'm still wearing the same clothes because I only have one set of painting clothes. As you can see, I look very scruffy. Just giving the chairs another coat. It was really tricky because there's just so many like different bits to these chairs and table. But yeah, in the end, I was really pleased with how they turned out. Somehow we managed to lose all of the footage of painting the decking, so this is us just giving it a second coat. We decided not to do the decking at the top, just at the bottom, because it went with the borders which are down there and which join onto it. So I'm really, again, pleased with how it looks, and Ricky just was touching up around the edges of the borders and gave all of the borders a second coat as well, to match the decking, and this is how it looked. The final job was to jet wash the top, which again was a really big job. So we got all of the furniture off of the decking, all of the pots and the lanterns and the rug out of the way, because everything down the bottom of the garden was pretty much done and dry. And this was on the last day. The weather turned, as you can see, it's quite windy. It wasn't a nice day at all, but bless him, Ricky got out there and was jet washing the top of the decking for ages. This has actually never been done because it was put down last summer, and then, or last spring even, and then left throughout summer, autumn, winter, and now this is the first time it's ever been jet washed. So it wasn't in the best state, and it does need some more TLC. It needs to be varnished or stained, but it was a really good job, well done. Ricky also did like everything, the windows, the walls. I think he just got a bit too excited with the jet wash basically, but I was really, really grateful that he did it all. Tried to get out there the same day to wash and clean the windows, but as you can see, this just wasn't happening. So I gave up on this particular day, decided to leave it for the next day because they looked awful. They were so smeared. I don't have the squeegees and all of the proper window cleaning stuff. Obviously it's not easy to just go out and get it at the moment either, so I just did what I could. They looked, as you can see, really bad. So I just sprayed them all with window cleaner, gave them a good scrub because they were really dirty, and then wiped them over with a cloth, a dry cloth. Lastly, I just gave the garden table a quick clean over and put our flowers back on the top. As I said, we've used it already this year, so it wasn't too bad. Then I just wanted to show you quickly again the before, the during, and now what the garden is currently looking like before I give you the garden tour. If we come out from our kitchen door, this is what the top decking, that's what we call it, the top decking looks like. We've decided not to paint this because we didn't want everything in the garden painted. I actually really like the natural wood, and we're just going to varnish this. But I quite like it being just natural wood and as opposed to painted or stained. So then we have our seating area over here. We have a rug which actually used to be in our dining room. It's like a sisal rug, and it's a bit creased because it was folded up, but it's just nice to have out here because it looks a little bit more cosy. Then we have the swinging egg chair, which was actually from Aldi last year. We love it. It was such a bargain. It's just a really nice one. I'd have one of these in the house as well if I could. So yeah, I would definitely recommend them if they're selling them again this year, although it's a bit difficult at the moment. And then our seating area was from Very. It's a corner sofa with the table and then the 2 stools. Again, it's really nice. It's got a glass top, so it's really easy to keep clean, and I just keep like some artificial flowers on the top when it's a nice day, and then we just cover it all over when it's not a nice day. We also have patio doors here, kitchen window, back door, and then French doors into the living dining room. Eventually we do want to change all of these, so there are still lots of things to be done in the garden. Like, we really want to render the back of the house, but it's not, obviously that's not one of the best points of it at the moment. Then we have some lanterns which were from I think B&M last year, which are solar powered. They're really nice. And then we've got some pots that are to be filled when we can get to the garden centre. And then we have the mint in here, which you may have seen over on my stories was taken over the border, so we put it in this little pot so we could keep it. So then this is what the rest of the garden looks like. So up here it's sunny in the morning, and then the sun slowly travels across the garden, and that's why it's sunny up there at the back of the day. So that's why we wanted a seating area over there as well. So I'll start over here. I know the camera doesn't pick it up that well when it's shade and sunlight, so it's a bit difficult, but here we've got our border, our raised beds, whatever you want to call it, and this was actually made by my dad and Ricky from leftover decking, which was very clever. And then we have the artificial olive trees, which were from Home Sense. And then I won't bore you with it because I've talked through these on stories as well, but basically we have the plants that we put in last year. Some are doing well. This one, this is, I can't remember the proper name for it, but it's basically, it smells of vanilla. This is doing so well. Hydrangeas, not so well, but what I'd quite like to do is have like white hydrangeas here, then the vanilla flower here, then white hydrangea here, because this is not working out. And then so on, because we've got another hydrangea here. Lavender, which is coming back to life, but I might put that in a pot. Another hydrangea, what's that one, a stilby, and then at the end we've got all of our strawberries growing. So the boys are really excited about these. They're growing really well this year, and they've got flowers on them already. So a lot of people already asked me about paint colours because we already had these painted. So this is Cuprinol Natural Stone on the fence. I think it's 1 coat, and eventually we want to do 2 everywhere. And then this is Cuprinol Silver Copes on the borders. And then as we go around here, this area is probably the biggest change from the start of this video, because we've painted all of it. So over on the shed we've painted it Cuprinol Willow. Again, it's had 1 coat. We do need to go over everything in 2, so eventually that will have another coat. And I do actually like that we've got these 3 colours. It's just a little bit different. Originally I wanted this to be darker, like a dark grey, and then the shed colour to be more of this sort of, I don't know, like eucalyptus-y green. So I don't know, maybe eventually we might do a top coat in a different colour, but I am really pleased with it actually. It does look really nice. This is just a bit more blue than I thought it was going to be. So we've got silver copes on the decking as well, which really ideally you're not meant to put a fence paint on the decking, but this area gets a lot less traffic on it, so it's not bad. But what we've already noticed is if birds poo on it and you wipe it off, it also wipes the paint off, so that's not great. So ideally I think eventually we will get a dark decking stain, because all of our borders are made of decking too, but it's fine for now. It looks really nice. One thing I'm really pleased with is our table and chairs, because we've had this for quite a few years now. It's a really good set, but it had its time, but I just painted it with the katemurnane natural stone, same as the fences, and I'm so pleased with how it's all turned out, and it's made it completely, like, it looks nice again, it's usable, so people can sit down here in the evenings and have something to eat or just chat as well. Not right now obviously, but when we can finally have people around. So I'm so pleased with that. I did it all in 2 coats. It kind of, the wood just drank the paint, but I'm happy with it. It looks good. The fence, on the other hand, definitely needs another coat. You can see like 2 coats, 1 coat, and that's been on for a year as well. Not a year. Has it been on for a year? Not quite, no. Nearly. Then we've got our barbecue here. Then we've got this planter area, which, to be honest, I hate. At the start we had artificial grass in it as well, but it just doesn't look that great. But the boys are growing potatoes and red onions in it at the moment, so it's fine for now. I think eventually it'd be nice to maybe have some flowers in it or something, but it's fine. Then we've got the world's worst tree. It is horrible. It's a spiky sort of holly bush tree thing. It just drops out the worst leaves ever. But again, I'm not really sure there's anything we can do about that. Then over here we've got their playhouse. Get asked about this a lot. It was from what was it called? The Garden Buildings Direct, something like that. I'll put it in the description box. But it's been really good. You might not see this one on the website because the steps are meant to go up one side and the slides are meant to come down another, but my dad is a carpenter, so he redid it for us because it's quite difficult. Like, there wouldn't have been anywhere for the slide to go in this corner, so it works better like this. Again, it needs another coat, needs to be painted inside, but it took us a long time just to get to this point, so I'm pleased with how we've done. Then around here is usually where the boys' toys are, because they have quite a lot of big garden toys. This is the side of the house that isn't looking as great. We've got like a toy box, we've got the sandpit. Down the side of the house at the moment is full of stuff from doing the garden that we need to take to the skip when we can, so that doesn't look great, and people can't get round the back, but no one can come around at the moment anyway. And then we've got the box, which needs a sort out so it can be closed. Then mud kitchen. This was also from Aldi last year. It hasn't fared very well for an outdoor toy, but again, I think if I give it a coat of paint, it will be fine. Like, put some new plants in the top, put all their little like pots and pans hanging out and stuff, maybe write the words again on it. It will bring it back to life, and I'll probably do it the same colour as their tree house, playhouse thingamajig. And then that just kind of takes us up to the decking again. This is what it looks like. The back of the house, as I said, doesn't look great. We definitely need to paint it or render it or do something with it, but in general it's such an improvement on where we started like 2 years ago. So it takes a long time to get a garden looking good, to get established plants and things. So far it's great. I will quickly tell you a few things that we want to do still. We'd like to have a trellis or plants across the back just to add some more greenery over there. Obviously do what I said to the borders there. And then one thing that we're planning at the moment is a big planter that's going to go across this back bit, and it's going to have, I don't know, like topiary or flowers or something in it, and I think that will make that back bit look really nice. I'm sure there's loads more that we want to do. Eventually I want to get some like pots and more plants when we can, and wicker ones, and also it'd be nice to have some kind of like garden mirror out here and just all sorts. But this is what it looks like. Oh, quick update on the grass as well, because obviously we got this done last year. We get a lot of questions. I know some people hate it. My garden renovation video has got some very strong opinions on the artificial grass, some very anti-artificial grass comments, but it's amazing. It's the best thing we could have got. I won't go into a long rant about it now, but it was definitely a good investment, and I'm really, really glad that we got it.
The only problem is with this garden is because we've got the trees, it never looks like this for long, which is a shame, but can't do anything about it. So we've got the leaf blower and we pick them all up when we can. And yeah, apart from that, the boys love it, we love it, it's great. So there you go, that's our garden update 1 year on. Our neighbours probably think I'm crazy and I'm just talking to myself after filming all that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and seeing where we've got to so far. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye guys!